Hi, everybody. My name is Caroline Ramsey, and my topic is bias in research, and my audience is psychology majors at the University of Mary Washington. As psychology majors, we're trained to examine research, but have you ever stopped to consider how bias lies in the studies we rely on? We assume that research is objective, but sex and gender biases are everywhere and shape what questions get asked and who is researched. In this talk, I will explore how bias shows up in research, how to identify it, and why it matters in our field. Sex and gender bias in research occurs when assumptions about gender influence study design, data collection, and conclusions. These biases are especially dangerous because they often go unnoticed, shaping not only individual studies, but entire theories in psychology. We have all heard that research should be objective. This is an idea known as positivism, the belief that researchers can and should remove their own biases while conducting studies. While this sounds ideal, in reality, nobody is truly free from bias. Researchers bring in their own beliefs, backgrounds, and experiences into their work. These biases can shape everything from study design to data interpretation. As psychology majors, we need to remember that objectivity does not mean a study is simply bias-free. It just means that we have to find the potential hidden biases within the researcher themselves. A huge source of sex and gender bias lies within the research questions themselves. Often, research questions appear neutral on the surface but are based on hidden assumptions. Take the question, are men naturally less nurturing parents than women? This question makes a couple of assumptions. The first being that parenting ability is biologically determined by gender. It implies that women are innately better caregivers. The second assumption is that it frames women as the default nurturers and men as the default workers, reinforcing traditional gender roles. The third assumption is that it overlooks societal influences on parenting, such as expectations on gender roles and the impact of cultural norms. These assumptions shape how we design studies and interpret the results. By identifying these biases within the questions themselves, we can better evaluate the research we read and use. Another significant source of bias is in who gets studied. In psychology, the majority of studies come from weird populations: Western, educated, industrialized, rich, and democratic societies. Weird. When we use these specific examples, we are making broad conclusions about human behavior that might not be able to be applied universally. For example, a study on stress that only looks at university students in the United States may not accurately reflect how stress impacts people from different cultures, socioeconomic statuses, or life experiences. By using predominantly weird sample sizes, the generability of many studies is severely limited. As psychology majors, we need to be critical of narrow samples populations and ask, who is the sample actually applicable to? Whether you're reading an article or conducting your own research, it's critical to engage in reflexivity, the process of reflecting on your own beliefs and considering how they might influence your research. This helps to ensure that your interpretations aren't biased by personal perspectives. When evaluating a study's generability, keep in mind that high-quality intersectional research is rare. And most of the time, the people who are leading intersectional research are people of color, and they are able to provide perspectives that are underrepresented in traditional studies. This highlights the need for diverse voices in the field of research. We engage with research daily, but I challenge you to question the studies you encounter. Don't dismiss everything you've heard, but ask yourself, does this research rest on hidden assumptions? Was the data gathered from a weird sample? Western, educated, industrialized, rich, and democratic societies. These questions will help you critically assess the research and deepen your understanding of assumptions. Ultimately, by practicing reflexivity and critically evaluating the research you encounter, you can contribute to a more inclusive and thoughtful approach to psychology. This mindset will not only help you improve your analysis, but also empower you to help recognize and address the biases that can lie in research outcomes. So, yeah, that's all that I had. Make sure that you are critically evaluating your researchers and try to engage in research that is promoting inclusivity in research. Thank you. Bye.